Okay, welcome back to the Flying Doghouse. We're going to start a tutorial series here, and we're going to start with multiplayer settings. So we have had quite a few new people join our Discord server, and one of the things I've noticed is that definitely can be a challenge to try to put all the pieces and parts together. So we're going to jump over into the sim and take a look at some basic configuration of enabling yourself to be able to participate in group flights. And then in a second video, we'll take a look at some specific things that we're doing over on our Discord server to hopefully help folks out who are on our specific Discord, or they may be using someone else, but at least it'll give a good overview and an idea of what you might anticipate having to change as far as those settings are concerned. So there we go. So let's go ahead and jump over into the sim. Okay, so we're sitting on the main menu in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. This is something I have noticed probably over the last couple of months. We continue to have a number of folks joining us now for group flights, and seems to be a bit of a challenge in terms of trying to figure out where all this stuff is. And there's a lot of moving parts when you're getting started with Flight Sim as a hobby, and you also want to take on the social aspect of it with having a flight with other folks. It can be pretty frustrating to try to put together all of the settings. So we're going to take a quick peek here and go ahead and get the core stuff out of the way, and then we'll talk about some other specific things too. So to that end, where would you start first? Well, the gear in the upper right hand corner of the screen. So we'll click that. And we are going to want to endeavor to go over to online. Okay, so we're going to concentrate on the data connection section of the screen. So one of the things that your flight host will let you know about will be what multiplayer server they are currently using. So this is going to determine whether or not you are going to see other people in the sim first and foremost. So we tend to use the Southeast Asia server. There's no right or wrong answer to this. You know, again, different flight hosts are going to specify a different multiplayer server for their preference. So at any rate, we have our set at Southeast Asia. Easy for me to say. The other thing that you're probably going to want to turn on, and it really depends on what kind of group flying you're doing, I guess. If folks in your group flights tend to get into formation, or you're doing close formation flying, you're going to want to make sure that show multiplayer aircraft in close proximity is turned on. Otherwise, aircraft gets close, it's going to disappear. So that's one of the things that we need to take care of straight up. Okay, so there's that. So that takes care of the settings menu. Next, we need to go down to flight interface. And we're going to want to make sure that we have show traffic nameplates turned on. So if you're on a group flight and you're flying along, this will enable the display of a nameplate, and that will show you where someone is in their aircraft relative to yours. So you'll see their gamer tag. So if you were on a group flight with me, you'll see Joe Cool 63 and C. So this is really a two-step process with the nameplates. You're also going to want to go over to controls, and we'll do that here in just a second. You're going to want to set yourself up a keybind for show hide nameplates. And I'm using Control N on my keyboard. You can map it to a button on your joystick, your controller. If you have a Stream Deck, you can certainly do that as well. That makes it easy for you to be able to turn those on and off. And sometimes it's useful in a group flight to turn the nameplates off. So if a lot of you are landing at an airfield, and there are a number of people on a group flight, all those nameplates are really going to obscure some of your visibility. So from time to time, we have to turn those off, particularly if we're on finals. So anyway, hopefully that will help later on when you're in a larger group flight setting. All right, so taking care of our main settings, we now need to go and look at our flight conditions. So let's do that. Let's save and back. And we'll go ahead and start a flight here real quick. And we're going to go over to flight conditions. And generally speaking, we're going to want to set our weather and time to custom. And your flight host will give you the specifics of what they're looking for here. Air traffic is really to your choice, right? So you don't want to see generated air traffic. You can turn that to off. And then for multiplayer settings, you're going to want to make sure that this is set to all players. That will enable you to see folks live while they're flying. Okay, so that takes care of that particular piece as well. So again, there are several different places in the menus that you have to deal with. And that's that. The other thing that could get in your way, and I've certainly experienced this in the past. I'll click on save and back here. Go back up to the gear. Sometimes Microsoft Flight Sim forgets settings. So sometimes I'll be on a flight and no name tags are showing up. So every once in a while, what you might experience here is, particularly during an update, and I've had this happen, as it showed traffic nameplates gets turned off for whatever reason. Didn't happen in the last update, but I believe with Service Update 1, it definitely did. So at any rate, just kind of be aware of that. If things stop working, then make sure you navigate yourself over to the settings menu and give that a look. All right. So in the next section of this, I think we should probably take a look at some things that might be specific to your own hosting, and I think we may handle that in a separate video. So for now, hopefully this was helpful for getting yourself ready to go in terms of being able to experience a group flight with your friends online. All right, so hopefully this video was helpful. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. Love to have you as a channel subscriber. With that, as always, I hope everybody is keeping well. And until next time, cheers, y'all.